Okay, just to finish off on this, then we don't need to do any more on constructivism. This is the video I was talking about. Is this guy called Dennis Hyde? He begins by making the point that the social construction of reality is very threatening to Christians. So he begins with that constructivists, broadly speaking, which we may or may not be happy with, consider religion to be non-material culture, an example of. Okay, so he's clearly a person of faith. Not ideal for atheists or agnostics or constructivists necessarily, but for people of faith, it's actually quite a good way to get out of a hole that you've dug for yourself, in a sense. So that's worth kind of solving. Just to reinforce this in this last hour that we've got on this topic. According to Hyber, the social construction of reality means the process whereby people continuously create, through our actions and interactions, a shared reality that is experienced as objectively factual and subjectively meaningful. I mean, we're talking about quite difficult metaphysical concepts. You know, what's reality? It's not like, you know, you're not going to have a conversation with somebody about this over a cappuccino, are you? It is a difficult sort of thing, and it's hard to relate this to the, you know, scholarly academic work. Anyway, nevertheless, I think it's worth sort of thinking about. It might be disturbing to people to go outside of the door and think there's no one shared reality, and so that might be one thing. But anyway, this is only what constructivists say. So whether we like it or not, this is their sort of position on this. So we've got the world's kind of divided into two: natural physical world, natural physical facts on the one hand, then we've got the social world. That's what we are interested in here, in trying to understand. Social world includes everybody in this room, everything that we know about, but it also includes the relationship that we've created between states. In other words, the relationship between Russia and Ukraine and the United States and the former Soviet Union and the Palestinians and Israel has been created by humans. That's a social construct. It's not been given by God. It's not normal. It's not natural. It's not preordained. Nobody's intervened. It's constructed. It's the product of human social construction. So what he means by this is that it's the process whereby people continuously create, through actions and interactions, a shared reality. The social world is not given, natural, revealed, determined, inevitable. So if it's not, and we're focusing on studying conflict in Kashmir, in Nagorno-Karabakh, in Gaza, in Africa, in South Asia, all around the world, if the world is not fixed, is not given, natural, revealed, determined, inevitable, then if we accept that it's constructed, then that creates in my mind a sort of an optimistic thing, in the sense that if we've made it, we've constructed it, we can change it, because we resort to violence at the earliest opportunity in order to extend our interests, whether they be the interests of states or politics or ideologies or religions or cultures or identities or whatever that may be. About it, Hybert's argument, and do watch the video, it's kind of interesting, is made up. He argues that the social world and everything we know in it is not only made up by humans, but it's transmitted from humans to other humans. So 95% of what we know, he argues, we simply accepted from other people that have gone before us, as it were. So that's one thing. It can be changed, it can be deconstructed, reconstructed, and it has been, according to constructivists, continuously throughout history. So I've made some diagrams here which may or may not make the situation more complicated. But basically, the one on the left, the circle on the left, is a depiction of the natural and physical world, which we find. If humans didn't exist, it'd still be the natural and physical world, there'd still be natural and physical facts. We would still find a mountain, still find a river. I mean, so they would still be there without humans ever existing in the first place anyway. And we've been on this planet, let's say, for argument's sake, between 100,000 years and some people argue a lot longer, maybe 250,000 years. Maybe there's evidence, archaeologically speaking, we've been around longer. But let's say 100,000 years. The monotheisms that this is referring to, and also the polytheistic religions that it's referring to, the monotheisms have only been around 2,000. So for 98,000 years out of the 100, we've only seen the monotheism emerge, as it were, the formal institutions of religion, about 2,000, 3,000, maybe 4,000 in the case Buddhism, Hinduism, older religions. So we've got the natural and physical world on one hand, but what we're interested in is the social world. We're interested in what that's made up of, and that's the one that we've created, and it's characterized by culture, an umbrella term, culture. Everything we do is culture. So culture is what characterizes what we do, what we make, what we create. And you can divide that into material culture and non-material culture. Material culture, as you can see, is hammers and tools and science and technology and roads and computers. All of these things would not exist had humans not created them. Neither would weapons, chemical, biological, conventional, nuclear, human and social constructs. So examples of material culture. So that's one thing. On the other side is non-material culture, and in that section comes values, norms, belief, institutions, and with that we find examples of non-material culture, which I've broadly defined as, in terms of example, the irony being that we create nuclear weapons and then we create institutions like the NPT, which we seek therefore to try and mitigate and prevent the misuse of nuclear weapons. That's probably not the right phrase, but the use of nuclear weapons. We have the NPT. Not everyone's in the NPT. India and Pakistan are outside the NPT. So are the North Koreans. And so would, in future, Iran, be outside. Of course, the North Koreans left the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. It's not even a ban on nuclear weapons. It's a bargain. It basically says we can keep our... It's not a disarmament treaty, right? There's a vague commitment that states involved in the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty will undertake to enter into negotiations in good faith to get rid of, to disarm, to the lowest point consistent with the interests of national security. So our total environment is made up of this physical, natural environment, but we're not kind of interested in that per se. We're interested in the social world, which is characterized by culture, which is created by humans, and we're interested in material forms of culture, which relate to the things I've been talking about, weapons and pencils and hammers and nails and roads and computers, but we're also interested in non-material culture, which is about beliefs, norms and values and institutions.